Lisa stood in front of the mirror in her small apartment, staring at the white dress hanging behind her. The room was quiet except for the faint hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic outside. Her wedding was in 2 hours. She took a deep breath and looked down at her phone again. No new messages. Not from her mother. Not from her brother. Not from her father. For weeks, she had tried to convince herself that maybe they were just busy. Maybe the invitations got lost. Maybe something unexpected happened. But deep inside, she already knew the truth. They weren't coming. Lisa had faced enemies in uniform before. She had stood on training fields at 5 a.m. with freezing wind cutting through her jacket. She had marched miles with a heavy pack on her back. She had learned how to stay calm when everything around her felt chaotic. But nothing in the military had prepared her for the silence of her own family. She picked up the dress and ran her fingers across the fabric. "Okay," she whispered to herself, "you've handled worse." Her husband-to-be, Daniel, knocked softly on the door. "Lisa, everyone's here." She opened the door and forced a smile. Daniel looked at her carefully. He knew her too well. "They didn't respond," he asked quietly. Lisa shook her head. Daniel sighed but didn't say anything else. Instead, he held her hand. "We've got each other," he said. Lisa nodded. And that was enough for her. The ceremony was small but beautiful. A few friends from the military stood beside them. Some neighbors came. Daniel's parents sat in the front row smiling warmly. But the seats Lisa had reserved for her own family stayed empty. Every time she glanced at them, a small part of her heart cracked. Still, she kept smiling. Because soldiers learn one important thing very early. You keep moving forward. Weeks passed. Lisa returned to her routine. Morning runs, training drills, paperwork, long days at the base. Life slowly found a rhythm again. Daniel was supportive, calm, patient. He never pushed her to talk about her family, but sometimes he caught her staring at old photos. One evening, Lisa's phone buzzed. She looked down. "Dad." Her heart skipped. For a moment, she just stared at the screen. After weeks of silence, after missing the most important day of her life, he was finally reaching out. She opened the message. "Need $8,400 for your brother's wedding." Lisa blinked. She read it again. No greeting. No apology. No explanation. Just money. Her chest tightened. Daniel walked into the kitchen and noticed her expression. "What happened?" Lisa handed him the phone. He read the message slowly. Then he looked up. "You've got to be kidding me." Lisa let out a small laugh, but there was no humor in it. "That's the first thing he says, after ignoring my wedding." Daniel shook his head. "That's unbelievable." Lisa sat down at the table. For years, she had been the responsible one, the one who worked hard, the one who sent money when someone needed help, the one who tried to keep peace in the family. And now this. Her father hadn't even asked how she was. Just money. Daniel watched her quietly. "What are you thinking?" Lisa stared at the screen for a long moment. Then slowly, a calm expression appeared on her face. The same expression she had during difficult training missions. The kind of calm that comes when a soldier makes a decision. "I'm thinking," she said softly, "that I've been too generous for too long." Daniel raised an eyebrow. Lisa opened her banking app. She typed something. Then she pressed send. Daniel leaned closer. "How much did you send?" Lisa smiled slightly. $1. Daniel blinked. $1. Lisa nodded. "And I added a message." "What message?" Lisa showed him the screen. "Best wishes." For a second, Daniel was silent. Then he laughed. Not loudly, not mockingly. Just the kind of laugh that comes from pure disbelief. "That's actually perfect." Lisa shrugged. "If that's the level of respect they show me, That's the level they get back. But the story didn't end there. 2 days later, something unexpected happened. Lisa and Daniel were sitting in the living room watching television when they heard a loud knock at the door. Not a normal knock. A hard, aggressive pounding. Daniel stood up. "Who is that?" Lisa frowned. "I have no idea." He opened the door. 2 police officers stood outside. Behind them was Lisa's father. Lisa's stomach dropped. The officers looked professional but serious. "Ma'am," one of them said, "we received a complaint regarding a financial dispute." Daniel stepped forward immediately. A financial dispute. Lisa's father crossed his arms. "She owes us money." Lisa stared at him. "You're serious right now?" Her father pointed at her. She promised to help the family. Now she's refusing. Lisa felt a wave of anger rise inside her. But years of military discipline kept her calm. She looked directly at the officers. "Officers, I never agreed to give anyone money for a wedding." Her father interrupted loudly. "She's lying." Lisa took a slow breath. "Do you have any written agreement?" one officer asked her father. Her father hesitated. "No, but she's family." The officer nodded calmly. "Sir, being family does not create a legal financial obligation." Lisa could see frustration building on her father's face. "She sent me $1, he snapped. The officers looked confused. Lisa calmly showed them the message thread. One officer read it carefully. "So, you asked for $8,400, he said. Her father nodded. "And she sent you $1 with the message, 'Best wishes.'" "Yes." The officer looked at Lisa. "That's not illegal." Daniel tried not to smile. Lisa's father looked furious. "You're just going to let her disrespect us like this?" The officer sighed. "Sir, this is a family matter, not a police issue." Lisa's father glared at her. "You think you're better than us now because you're in the military." Lisa stood up slowly. Her posture straightened automatically, like it always did when she wore her uniform. "No," she said calmly. "I just learned something the military teaches very well." Her father frowned. "What's that?" Lisa met his eyes. Respect goes both ways. For a moment, nobody spoke. The officers shifted awkwardly. Then one of them cleared his throat. "Well, unless there's anything else, we're going to leave." They stepped away from the door. Lisa's father stayed there for a moment longer. His face was red with anger. "You'll regret this," he muttered. Lisa didn't respond. She simply closed the door. The house became quiet again. Daniel turned to her. "Are you okay?" Lisa exhaled slowly. "Yeah." He wrapped his arm around her shoulders. "You handled that like a soldier." Lisa smiled faintly. "I'm a soldier." Later that night, Lisa sat on the balcony watching the city lights. She thought about everything that had happened. The empty seats at her wedding. The message asking for money. The police at her door. It hurt. But strangely, she also felt something else. Relief. Because sometimes the hardest battles are not fought on training fields or in combat zones. Sometimes the hardest battles are the ones where you finally decide your worth. Lisa looked up at the night sky. She had spent years trying to earn approval from people who never truly supported her. But now she had Daniel. She had friends who respected her. She had a career she worked hard for. And most importantly, she had herself. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from her father. Lisa looked at it for a moment. Then she turned the phone face down on the table. For the first time in weeks, she felt completely calm. Because she finally understood something. Family is not just about blood. Family is about who shows up when it matters. And sometimes the strongest thing a soldier can do is close the door and move forward.